Metro DC area. They're actually in Arlington, Virginia, so I had an opportunity to go and speak there. And I like to go around to different centers because I really appreciate home as a consequence. It was beautiful space, but there's just no energy like SEC. Now, one thing I did like, you all, is they hold their service in an art center. So they are surrounded by beauty, and you walk out the back door and there's a public park and public tennis courts, so they don't have to go anywhere to have their family reunions and things of that nature. So what does that do? It enlarges my vision for what's possible for us. And so that's in keeping with the theme for this month, living large and in charge. So what does expanded consciousness mean? Because that's what we're referring to when we talk about living large and in charge. So for most people, the spectrum of conscious awareness is very small. Think about this. A child or an adult who behaves childlike, they may sit in front of a television and they become mesmerized by what they're seeing on the screen. So they have a very limited span of awareness. And by focusing their attention on a single point, the point being the television, they are excluding the awareness of other things that may be going on around them. It could even be in their immediate physical surroundings, or there could be other mental activity. This is why we as humans love to be entertained. It allows us to drown out everything else that may force us to become aware of the things that we would rather not deal with. Smaller consciousness equals easily amused, but lives without much control. Why? Because they are responding to subconscious programming. Anytime you're not conscious of what it is that you're thinking, anytime you're not conscious of what it is that you're doing, and I know we all do it because you probably wondered how you got here. Your car was on automatic. You got in, and next thing you know, you're getting out and you're here. So you weren't necessarily aware and conscious of the trip here and what was going on in the environment. So to expand one's conscious means to be able to be simultaneously aware of more. Not just more of what is around us, but more importantly, more of what is happening at our mental level. It also means to broaden the gap between the normal awakened mind and the closed-off subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is where our doubts and fears live. It is where we store those programs and conditions that actually motivate and drive our behavior. Think of it this way. The relationship of our conscious mind, that's our everyday awareness, or our top-level thoughts and experiences, and our subconscious mind, which contains our memories, our beliefs, the things that we suppress and repress, has been likened to an iceberg. So get that image in your mind. You usually see just the tip of the iceberg. It's totally submerged in water, and you only see about 10%. What you don't see is the 90% that lies beneath the surface. And those are the things, if we're using that metaphor for our lives, are the things that we often choose not to see or to deal with. To further help illustrate, a person who has had any negative or traumatic experiences, such as being bitten by a dog or being made fun of as a child, has developed negative associations to protect them from that same type of harm in the future. As an adult, this person lives controlled by these conditions. Whenever a person sees a dog, they become fearful and feel the need to leave the situation. They may not know consciously why they are leaving because the traumatic experience is so deep in the subconscious mind. They just leave. This is living by reactive conditioning, that they have little or no control over their behavior, nor do they even know why they're doing certain things. So this is why one would want to expand their consciousness. Larger consciousness equals we live life with more control, responding less to subconscious programming. We actually have more control over what we actually experience. The more conscious awareness we have, the more prone we are to living a life under this conscious control. You can easily eliminate the haunting past, conditioning that quietly eats you up inside, or drives you to do the things that you really don't want to do, such as uncontrollably acting out your addictions, your fears, your compulsions. You can do this because as these conditions become exposed, you can easily eliminate them by staring them in the face and say, "Get behind thee. Get behind thee. You have no power or control over me." You can do this because as these conditions are exposed, we are living in the light of consciousness. And that's a term that the mystics used to use, the light of consciousness, and it's no coincidence that we sang this little light of mine today. The smaller your consciousness is, the more likely you will miss out on what life has to offer. Liken this to having an annoying itch. You ever had one of those, you all? You know, you just, and in public you just can't quite get to it. You know, so you do this kind of dance, you know, this irritation dance. So let's say that you have this annoying itch while walking, and you're walking through the most beautiful garden in the world, and you'll not be able to appreciate all of the beautiful colors and the flowers and the scents and the hummingbird song. Why? Because of this tiny little nagging itch that's monopolizing all of your attention. You have an expanded consciousness, means that you are more conscious of what was once subconscious as well as what is going on all around you. With an expanded awareness, not only do you have the itch and you're aware of that, but you can still see the beauty in the flowers. You can still smell the scents that the flowers give off. You can still hear the humming of the hummingbird. To have an expanded consciousness means that you are more likely to be proactive in your life and less likely to be reactive. What does that mean? That means that you choose. You choose the reality that you want to have. And you direct all of your behavior and your activity towards attainment of that reality. That's because you're conscious. That's because your mind is open. That is because you are in control of what it is that you're thinking. Those who are reactive are operating based on past conditioning. Expanded consciousness equals not reacting to programming, being more at peace, being aware of one's surroundings, being aware of one's internal conditions, and exercising control over all of it. And most importantly, metaphysically speaking, any deep-seated beliefs can prevent you from having, being, and doing all that you want to have, be, and do in life. And in order to maximize and quicken the law of attraction, it's imperative to clean out all that is blocking you from what you are trying to have more of in your life, all that you are trying to attract to your life experience. So let's continue with that iceberg analogy. But I'm going to change it up. We did what, 10-90, correct? So just imagine if you did 50-50. And the reason why I didn't go from the other way around, 90-10, is because I know that it's human nature for us to only use a modicum of our intelligence, to only use a modicum of our brain. If we use 100%, who saw the movie Lucy? If we use 100%, we'd be too much. We'd be too much, even for our own selves. So I didn't go there, but I did go to 50-50. So now 50% of the iceberg is above the water, and 50% is still below. But you can see how the once repressed memory of the dog bite has controlled you. See, you're now aware of that. So you know why it is that you are reacting, why it is you want to leave the situation when you encounter a dog, present day. Why? Because you have expanded awareness. You have the ability to pull forth and to recall those situations and circumstances and those events that are causing you to behave the way you are currently. So, with this expanded awareness, the things that once controlled you no longer control you. You're not acting from your reactionary mind, but rather from your reasoning and your logical mind. So with this new image, do you see why you want to expand your consciousness? Ernest Holmes said this about the process that one goes through when he or she endeavors to expand their consciousness. It says, during the process of self-discovery, we bring upon ourselves through the operation of the law of mind the experiences that we image in our thoughts. We have on the one hand the evolution of the individual life under the guidance of divine providence, which leads to harmony. And in contrast, there is the freedom to live under the false guidance of a sense of being separated from good, which leads to disaster, chaos, unfulfilled lives. The point is this: as we grow in our awareness, as we learn new things, as we use universal power, we should do so under the guidance of divine providence. Think not that you are living large and in charge independently. Understand the basic principles of our philosophy. God is all there is. God is everywhere present. God is all powerful and is the only power that is not subject to cause and effect. Now, Scripture didn't say, through me, through my own volition, all things are possible. Does it read that? No. What does it say? It says that with God, all things are possible. So without God in the equation, the result could be disastrous and chaotic. So the question is, are you making the most out of this thing called your life? Life creates making things out of itself. So let us think of life with a capital L as pure spirit creating through the agency of its word. The power of your word, you all, to co-create with the Creator. That is by thought or by idea expressed verbally. The thought or the idea of life automatically becomes the law of your life. Did you hear that? The thought or the idea of life with a capital L automatically becomes the law of your life. It's a law of mind and action. And this principle always existed and will always continue to exist. And each of us is a part of it. And the it is spirit. The it is God. The it is the cosmos. The it is whatever you call the thing that you say has power over everything. And you are a part of it. You are a part of its self-expression. Therefore, the whole desire of life is to give you more life. Let me say that again. The whole desire of life, just substitute God for life, is to give you more life. Not less life, more life. And if that's not talking about enlarging your territory, expanding your consciousness and your awareness, living large, I don't know what is. What I know is that the Creator loves you because it created you. And in creating you, it poured itself into you. You could not ask for a greater love, now could you? You could not ask for a greater love more than this. And it's not possible for any more love to be given. Every longing and yearning you have ever had, every secret desire of your soul, every constructive ambition you have ever had is a whispering of this life, assuring you that you are a manifestation and an emanation of all. You are a personification of God. So how does one expand his or her consciousness? Well, if you'll take time daily to sense the presence of God, to sense that presence deep within you, not outside of you, but within you, and then you accept it, it will not be long before the life which you have known will gradually disappear. But guess what? You know what emerges? Something new. Something better. Something bigger. and it will be born unto you. A bigger and a better and a more perfect you. So the one who learns how to control his or her thinking, learns how to control his or her destiny. We are bound by our own thought world and our own thought atmosphere. And the individual who learns how to consciously change his thinking processes can remold and reshape their future and their destiny. The pathway to living large and in charge, the key to success, the pathway to freedom, and the consciousness which can break down the doors of our self-imposed prisons, all lie in the realization that the word of life flows through us into manifestation.
Yes.
So we not only have the ability to do this, we have the tools by which to do this, and the power that we have is our faith. Our faith in the unseen, our faith in the ineffable, our faith in the infinite intelligence of the universe. The next thing is, we have to learn how to use these tools. Use them to create the lives that right now we probably have a difficult time even imagining. But use them to enlarge your territory. Use them to live life full out. Use them to shine your light and not hide it under a bushel. Let us learn how to use these universal laws and this power so that we can live large and in charge. And so